afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, April 28th, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern, 2022. We have a reverse aging health call with a special guest tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Always remember that there is a magic of synchronicity. And always remember deep in your heart that all is well and everything is unfolding as it should. There are no mistakes anywhere at any time. What appears to be wrong is simply your own false imagination. Perfection knows nothing about wrong and right, good and bad, happy and sad. It knows only itself as perfection. And you are that, Robert Adams. We live in a world that is filled with magic, divine intelligence, and perfect synchronicity. We all know that there is a higher power, creative force, and an all-knowing energy flowing through everything. Yet, are we relishing in its magical flow all throughout the day? When we step back from our typical analytical busy minds, we can see that this conscious, intelligent matrix that surrounds us is real and extremely alive. We are the living, breathing pulse of the ocean itself. There is no real separation from it. Unless we are caught up in the mind, flooded by thoughts and desires, only then are we blind to this divine perfection that is the cosmic makeup of our very soul. How do we know we are living in a state of synchronicity? When we're living in total synchronicity with life, everything works out in the most positive, easy, and effortless ways. You make a spontaneous appointment with a friend, and it becomes this perfectly coordinated event that fits intelligently together with all the other events of your day. Our everyday interactions with people simply flow in the most creative, expansive, and spontaneous ways. In each synchronistic moment, we feel tapped into the God source itself, having full access to an unlimited source of divine creativity. We might even reach an orgasmic feeling when living in a state of synchronicity for an extended period of time. I believe that the synchronicities that we experience in this life are proof that there is a higher power and intelligence running the show. Perhaps we are thinking of an old friend we haven't talked to for years, and on that day, they spontaneously text us a message or call us on the phone. Or perhaps throughout our day, we take a moment to stop and look at the clock, and it's exactly 1:11 or 2:22 or 3:33 or 4:44. And when we are aware of the signs, we begin seeing them wherever we are. Noticing the signs is a form of communication from the universal intelligence that we are on track and aligned with our soul's destiny. Then we suddenly get hit by a 30-second deja vu out of nowhere. We open the door to a psychic hiccup in the matrix, which awakens us to everything. And to how everything is predestined, and we are following the destiny that our soul is here to experience and explore. It's truly magical, the connection that we can experience by aligning our mind, heart, and soul with this great universal intelligence. We can see the perfection within ourselves and how this is reflecting back to us in the universe. Synchronicity is our most natural state, which is appropriately termed as a supernatural, because it is the greatest natural life experience we can access. There is a feeling of being one with the entire universe, and within this sensation we discover our inherent ability to connect with our very own soul. Life is meant to be a spiritual experience. We are not supposed to miss out for one moment on the sweetest, most succulent part of it. All of our souls want to wake up from the nightmare and realize how incredible and magical each moment of this life truly is. This daily positive synchronistic miracle is our reward for opening up to our spiritual nature. If you feel stuck on this path, here are a few steps you can take to adjust your sails. The first secret step to experiencing the magic of synchronicity every day is letting go of any tight, contracted, or controlling relationship you have with time. Okay? The first secret step to experiencing the magic of synchronicity every day is letting go of any tight, contracted, or controlling relationship you have with time. When schedules are too tight and there is no room to be spontaneous, it is harder to feel your intuition calling you in a certain direction. It can feel almost impossible to notice the magical synchronistic world around you when you're late for a meeting. By establishing a new relationship with the clock, you can become the master of it instead of it making a slave out of you. Just think about the day that you'll arrive on your deathbed. How will you want to look back at the way you lived your life? Do you want to feel as if you were rushing against the clock and a slave to time your entire lifetime? The initial step in letting go of time means opening your mind to trusting the feeling of timelessness. This basically feels like everything is going to be perfect, even if you're a few minutes late or a few minutes early. You are getting a taste of your soul, which is eternal, and feels as if you're carrying a deep feeling of trust in your body. This timeless trust allows you to relax and become attuned to your highest intuition. The body is relaxed, and the monkey mind is no longer in charge, allowing the heart to hear the divine guidance trying to poke through. The initial step in letting go of time is opening your mind to trusting the feeling of timelessness. This basically feels like everything is going to be perfect, even if you're a few minutes late or a few minutes early. You are getting a taste of your soul, which is eternal, and feels as if you're carrying a deep feeling of trust in your body. The timeless trust allows you to relax and become attuned to your highest intuition. The body is relaxed, and the monkey mind is no longer in charge. The ego, allowing the heart to hear the divine guidance trying to poke through. Nothing matters so much that we should throw ourselves into a state of panic about it. No happening is so important that we should let ourselves be exiled from inner peace and mental calm for its sake. Paul Brunton. The second step to living in complete synchronicity with this life comes down to our willingness to stop any resistance, avoidance, or internal battle with life. Willingness to stop any resistance, avoidance, or internal battle with life. We simply have to get tired of the struggle before we can completely surrender. It can come down to letting go of living in fear, being deeply aware when it's plaguing our emotions, and choosing to explore a complete and deep release of it. Once we trust that our inner guidance is never wrong and is always showing you the way, we have nothing to fear anymore. Our guidance will notify us about the when, where, what, and how. Intuition is never wrong. It's only our mind's interpretation of it that can be off. We simply need to learn how to listen, and we will find everything always falls into perfect place. Whenever we worry, withhold love, or are living in a state of fear, we interact as if we are deaf and blind to God. The mind is busy focusing on what we don't want to happen, worried it will happen, because we cannot stop focusing on it, and we keep pulling energy into it. We become completely unaware of the ocean of love we are swimming in. If there was one thing that stopped us from knowing ourselves as synchronistic beings, it would be our mind's entertainment of fearful worry of some ideas. The positive purpose of fear is that it wakes us up and makes us more alert. We start perceiving and seeing the world differently, which then forces us to become even more conscious. Then, when we can welcome our fear and greet it head on, we suddenly become vibrantly alive. We become excited about the risks we can take in this life, and we stop hanging out in our head being entertained about some fantasy or reality, and some fantasy of reality. When we are in fear, we actually start reaching out to find a more spiritual experience of this life. Fear motivates us to be extremely conscious and listen to all intelligent energy that is inside of us and surrounds us. Third step to living a fully alive synchronistic life is perhaps the most challenging one of all. This is all about establishing a solid connection and relationship with our inner guidance. When we are listening to our intuition, always trusting that our gut feeling knows the bigger picture and sees the future that's coming, we have to surrender our ego in order to trust it all the time. Being aligned with our intuition is an inner dialogue with our most gentle nature all day long. This relationship automatically manifests an experience of synchronicity everywhere we go. Whatever your labors and aspirations are in the noisy confusion of this life, keep peace in your soul, Isradata. When we are attuned with our divine inner guidance, we are the magical flow of the entire universe. When we are attuned with our divine inner guidance, we are the magical flow of the entire universe. There is no separation anymore. We are the same flow and realize that we never, ever were separate. It is in this recognition that we find our most empowered, magical, manifesting state of being. Then we can truly be free to sit back, enjoy the ride, and trust life in the most intimate ways. The real fun begins with the choice to give up fear and let the universe know that we have 100% trust in our inner guidance. Life is worth taking the risk to trust in it. Life is worth taking the risk to trust in it. And when you do, you'll be deeply surprised at the many healing ways you are rewarded. Each time we trust in this life, we start seeing, feeling, and attracting more of these sweet and powerful magical moments. The synchronicities become abundant and are just the universe's way of showing us the spiritual, infinite, eternal being we all truly are. The more we allow for and this natural timelessness, fearless spiritual existence to come in, the more magical our daily experiences become. With little practice, this all will organically multiply. And this world will feel like it's continuously, deeply, eternally loving us for everything that we do. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted and I'm sure we all are, and the first thing that we care to do, relax the body that you, the God, are in. Relax the body that you, the God, are in. And the way you do this is through the breath. Easy and slowly in through the nose, easy and slowly out through the mouth. Easy and slowly in through the nose, easy and slowly out through the mouth. The breath moves us into the now. It stills the ego mind and the subconscious mind. We leave them alone. And when you know that you've done this, you will find that your mind chatter that we all have 24/7 is gone. You'll also find that no stress, worry, anxiety, and fear, anger, revenge, hatred, none of that is there. It's gone. The reason is that you're only focused on the breath, which is the now. And it keeps us in the now. Now, it's important for all of us to know to practice every moment to be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with ourselves, and to be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude. Now, the ego mind is not there with you. You know why? Because it can't be, because it doesn't exist in the now. None of it does. I have people say, well, I can stay in the now anytime I want, as long as I want. I say, fine, do it. They were lucky to stay in the now 30 seconds. So what happens is that we have, each of us sends out to the universe 60,000 plus thoughts a day. Every one of us. Doesn't mean we know each of these thoughts. No, some of them. Kind of. On top of that, we have tens of millions, tens of billions of thoughts flying by us like clouds in the sky. And which 99.999% are not our thoughts. They're like programs. And it's tricky. It's tricky because none of us are exempt from it. Sometimes we think that these thoughts are ours, so we'll grab one, right? And it takes us out of the now, and it pulls us off somewhere else. You ever done that? You ever been focused on something, and then all of a sudden someone asks you something, and you have no idea where you've gone off to? You've embraced another thought, which takes you out of the now, and that's exactly what the ego mind wants to have happen, to keep you out of the now and in the future, the past of the future, back and forth. But not in the now. Now, when this happens, it's really simple. It's no big deal. I'll focus on my breath and I'll be in the now. 3,000% of the time, which is always. Now, if someone were to ask you, hey, Jim, what are you going to be doing tomorrow? You would not be able to tell them, right? You couldn't, because you're only in the moment to moment. And you see the difference between being in the now and being in the future and the past, past and the future, future and the past, past and the future. You see the difference? You don't have any suffering, disappointment in the now. But we're in such habit of being out there, being in the future, the past, the past, past, the future, future, past, future, past, future. So we ignore the now. And what happens? Suffer, disappointment, disillusionment, anger, fear, frustration, anxiety. We suffer by abiding by the ego mind's wishes. And most of us don't even know that we're under their control. And being in the now calms the body, relaxes the body. The breath relaxes the body. When we enter these bodies, we power them up, so to speak. A soul out of the body will not last. It will cease. So everything goes online, so to speak, and then the lungs start operating, and then the breath is created. You've been really excited or maybe upset, and people say, take a deep breath, relax, breathe easy. That's why. And when you're worrying or stressing or fearing, you're not in the now. It's a dead giveaway. You're not in the now. You're either in the future or the past, or both. So you can see a choice. We have a choice. All of us have choices anytime. So we either decide to focus on the now through our breath, or play ping pong with the future and the past and suffer. It's our choice. And determine, are you going to continue to seek outside of yourself for several more lifetimes? Or are you going to make an about-face turn and go within to discover the God that you are within that body? Now, the body is like a supercharged magnetic sponge. And it absorbs everything. And a lot of things we don't really know or aware of. Stress, fear, sorrow, anxiety. Something that might have happened with your life. Some along the way, somewhere, that you have carried with you for a very long time. And it causes you to suffer and worry and stress and fear, but you still drag it with you. And a lot of times we drag it with us into another lifetime. So by being in the now, you can release this. And the body can release its trauma, anxiety, fear, worry, stress, letting it go, surrendering. You ever been in a situation where you've been holding on to something, right? And then a time comes and you say, I haven't used this in over a year. I don't really need it. But then something else comes over you and says, well, keep it. You might need it just in case. And another year goes by and you say the same thing, so to speak. And a lot of us will just continue to collect things and not want to part with them because we think we might be able to use them later. And then at times, when we do part with them, something occurs where it says, I should have kept that. I could have used that in this situation. You see how funny how it works? Every now and then, it may happen to you, it may not. It happens to some of us, okay? But every now and then, something happens in life where everything is cleaned out. And all the things you've accumulated are gone. And so you have actually an empty room. And you can put anything you want in it. And so there's always a house cleaning that happens in our lives on occasion. There are certain things that we look at and say, I've got to get this out of the way so I can make room for other stuff to come in. I got to get this energy out of the way so I can allow other new energies to come in. It's just like money. Money is supposed to be in a gentle, constant movement. It's always supposed to be flowing. It isn't meant to be hoarded or kept in secret. It's meant to be fluid energy, moving and assisting the civilization of the planet. And too much, when you're coveting it, could backfire on it. So remember the subconscious mind. That's your huge library. Thing is massive. Every time you go in there, we reminisce, right? We have thoughts and stuff. We go out of the now, and it could be a song, a drive, a walk, or just sitting in your living room. Comes over you. Boy, that was a fun time. I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't mind doing that again. Ooh, this wasn't a great time. I didn't handle that correctly. Right? So the subconscious mind copies everything. Everything. It doesn't miss a smidgen. It copies everything from others and stores it. It copies everything and anything and any experience and anything that you've experienced in this life. It copies it and it plays it back. It's like a recorder and a record player. It plays it back. So sometimes we'll go up there, and each of us have one. And we open the door, turn on a light, and we look in there, and we go, holy moly, I can't see any walls. This place is so big. And there's no ceiling. I can't see a ceiling. So you go in there, right? And you reminisce. And you look at some movies, and you get some movies and some pictures and books and sit in the easy chair, and you look at some of the movies, watch some of the movies, read some of the books, look at some of the pictures. Excuse me. But then you're finished, and you put everything away, and turn off the light, shut the door, and move forward the line. This is all a visualization to help us be navigators. So you look at three different paths. You're standing in the center one. You happen to be standing in the center one, which is now. All these paths have trees that have grown over and created canopies. These trees are golden and shimmering. The leaves, the branches, the bark. And each path is a vibrant, brilliant, emerald green, flaming grass. It appears to be. They're all identical. The only difference you notice is that the past, which is on the left, is very worn. The future, which is on the right, is very worn. Right? Now, like I said, we go into the past and we reminisce. The past can help us with certain things like guidance and remembrance. And, I did that, I've done that, and it didn't work out right, so I'm not going to do it the same way again. So it's helpful, reference, library. But some of us, they don't leave, they stay there. And I don't believe that it is conscious, I believe it's unconscious, but they stay there so long that they end up taking that past, bringing it into a future that doesn't exist, creating that future from that past, and reliving that past and that future. And a lot of people say no matter what they do, they always seem to end up here. That's why. We all go into the future. We create the future in the now, so the future we go into is what? There's a question to ask yourself. So if I'm creating a future in the now, so what is this future that I keep seeking? Well, that's the material physical world. It's out there. It's not inside you. It's out there. You want to know things. You get antsy. You get hurried. You get impatient, frustrated. So you seek external authority. You want someone to tell you what's going to happen for you in the next 3 months or next 6 months or next year. And you do this by tarot cards, different card readings, astrology readings, different readings of all kinds. Now, the person telling you this information gives you the information, and you either embrace it or you just kind of, no big deal. And here's the whole point. You believe in the source, and you believe that source is credible, and they tell you this information. You may not know it, but you're manifesting it because you believe it. So you say to yourself, well, there's somehow, like people will say, well, you're going to come into some money. And it'll be substantial. And you'll say, that's great. What are the particulars? See, because we keep digging. We want to know everything laid out precisely, clearly, directly, with no question, no doubt, no risk, no anything. So you'll take that information with you, and then you'll believe that something is going to come your way. And it might be something that gives you the opportunity to act on something, to create something. Could be anything. But imagine this. You stay in the now. You focus on the now through your breath. You get in the habit of staying in the now. Then all that flow, all that abundance that the universe sends to each of us constantly is aligned. Because by being in the now, you raise your vibrational frequency. It's automatic. Because, see, you're not stressed and burdened with worrying and fearing all the time. You're not out, the ego mind isn't enslaving you and controlling you all the time. Subconscious mind is not recording and playing all the time. All those thoughts, all the mind chatter is not there all the time. As long as you're in the now, none of that exists. Imagine what it would be like if the majority of this population was in the now. It'd be absolutely magna glorious. The stress level on this planet would almost be removed. Now, you look in the body, right? You're not the body. We know that. You're not the personality, the character. You're not the name. You're not your status in this life. You're the God within the body. So when you look in that body, you see 7 lights. They're all different colors. They go from the tailbone to the top of the head. And your question is what are they? They're called chakras on this planet. Definition of chakra is wheels of light. They're spirit etheric energy. We are spirit etheric energy. The gods that we are, omnipotently powerful. We flow through these. And we know everything about these bodies right down to the quantum quark. Now, unfortunately for us, we have not discovered who and what we are because we're continually searching outside of ourselves in the material physical world. So we literally leave our journey within alone. So we won't discover that. We won't discover that we are the power of healing these bodies until we begin to make the journey within. And acknowledging it is 50% of the way there. Just to be able to acknowledge it through your heart-mind doesn't mean you're there, but you know that it is there within you. Now, some of us on this planet are consciously aware to a certain point. Okay? Consciously aware means that we know that we are of and from the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love. We know that we have parts of ourselves, the gods that we are, that are asleep. They don't participate in anything. They're just smack out asleep. They'll come around in their own time. But we deeply love them as much as we deeply love the parts of us, the gods that we are, that are awake to a certain point. Now, the numbers are in the Googleplex. A Googleplex would fill this universe with not even 1 square inch of sacred space to spare. These are trillions of Googleplexes, trillions of different universes and directions. This includes all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Ascended Masters: Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Morya, Vedantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua. All the archangels, cherubim, seraphim, archetypes. All the off-worlders, galactics, and celestials. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, and dark and beneath earth. All of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. Because we see, in these bodies, we think we're separate. We're not. That's the illusion. We're all one. It doesn't matter if parts of us are 9,000 billion light years away. We're all one. You kind of can picture it this way, from the quantum level, that the universes are this one expanding, continually expanding body, right? And all of us are cells in that body, growing, expanding, learning with our own consciousness. Now, light energy beings on this planet are in the different light spectrums, and the eyes that we have do not see those light spectrums, and we only see 1% of what is. But they are there in the red, the infrared, the violet, the ultraviolet, super blue, super green, and they come in shapes, colors, sizes, forms, and configurations, which we obviously have never seen before, but they're there. Now, there is a group that these bodies we're in is just absolutely paramountly dependent on part of this group. The fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the magics, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood. The mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur. Now all you got to do is ask that body that you're in, can you survive without air, water, fire, earth, wood, ether? Could you survive? No. We would be forced to leave these bodies, the gods that we are. So these bodies are highly dependent on the elementals. Highly dependent. And you'll know it right through the heart mind whenever you ask that body, can you survive without this? And the body will let you know. There's no way. Don't take that away. Now, the Ascended Masters, they've ascended into physical form. They have mastered physical form. They have ascended out of physical form. They now hold pure consciousness God form. We have ascended into physical form. We are in the process of mastering physical form. We are creating our experiences to perfect our creation. The archangels, the cherubim, and seraphim, the archetypes, they're a civilization that vibrated at a different frequency than we do. Yet the gods within their bodies and the gods within ours are one. Now, we meet with them, we interact with them, not necessarily all the time to identify them. They send us varying messages. They're there to help us at certain times. They appear and disappear. They start up conversations in the middle of nowhere. You could be just shopping or looking or something, and boom, there's a stranger conversation. You feel like old home week, but you've known this stranger for a long time. Now, they know we have amnesia, so they help us lifetime after lifetime. And the message that they give us, that it always comes to us different ways, shapes, and forms. But isn't it absolutely magna glorious to be alive in these bodies? It's absolutely stupendous, wonderful, marvelous, spectacular. Now, how do we have a reference? We don't. We all have amnesia. So we find out, we discover through the journey within. Because as a God, right, as the pure white ball of energy that we truly are, omnipotently powerful and immortal, we don't, when we're not in these bodies, we don't make love, we don't kiss, we don't hold hands, we don't sleep, we don't eat, we don't drink, we don't walk, we don't talk, we don't smell, we don't embrace, we don't do any of that stuff. None of it. To sit and contemplate that on occasion, what would it be like? That you wouldn't have these joys, these pleasures, these experiences. You wouldn't have any of them. None. As a matter of fact, when you interact with gods that are out of body, a lot of them say that they don't remember what it's like to eat, what it's like, to have a glass of water, what it's like to laugh, what it's like to cry. Or they don't remember. See? It's fleeting. So why are we in physical form? To learn about who and what we are so we can appreciate and have deep gratitude for being in these bodies and everything about them. That's one of the main reasons. And learn, as gods that we are, we learn. We're divine perfection. We're the only thing that doesn't change, but we learn. We still learn about ourselves through inhabiting physical forms. Now, they can surround any one of us at any one time, tens of thousands, tens of millions, and beyond. Because of their vibrational frequency, they can hold a large number in a small area. And if you want to just ask them, in the blink of the eye, they'll be all around you. And you'll be in bliss. Now, the off-worlders, galactics and celestials, over 2,000, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, the numbers are endless, travel through this universe and through this solar system every day. Trillions throughout the universe is every day. We're familiar with a small group, the Adians, Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Feline, Zeta Reticuli, Anunnaki, Norage, Greys, Draco Reptilian, Golden Pyramid Avian. This particular group has been assisting us in our evolution, enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. Now we're here, we're focused on this planet. And its complete liberation is the removal and elimination of all lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. And we're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. We're all one. And we're all love. And we're all God. And our God force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. It continues to intensify, grow, and expand. Now, we immediately form a massive white fire circle of light. at the equator of this planet. Now, this emanates from the God that we are within these bodies. Pure, deep, eternal love. The highest of the highest high vibrational frequencies. Flooding this planet, saturating it, permeating it, head to toe, inside and out, above and below. And this is pure, deep, eternal love. No escape from it. It's everywhere. This light is so bright that it grays out the darkness of sacred space. It would take 1 billion trillion suns to even come close to its brilliance. You could put all those suns together, and you could hold this light, and the suns would pale in comparison. We began to ascend above the planet. We're immediately met with this massive ocean of glitter. It's not like an ocean of glitter that we would depict on this planet. It is much more, much more, much more. So we take what we know and what we've experienced on this planet, like the grand finale fireworks display, only it's a trillion times more intense and large. Same with the laser light show grand finale display. And same with the ballroom globe that reflects all light and floods the room. Now, when you combine all of these into one massive crescendo, then we're nearer the description of the ocean of glitter. We seek out the reflective points, which are everywhere, and we get close enough, we see that they are tiny little microscopic perfectly etched mirrors. We enter them and discover that all of us, everywhere, are teaching and learning and teaching from and with each other. It's a never-ending relationship. Now, it doesn't matter what form we take on, that we inhabit, because in any physical form, we're always learning. You can watch a beetle go across the ground. What are you learning? An ant carrying a piece of food. What are you learning? You're always learning. We are always teaching each other. A lot of us are so distracted with the material physical world that we don't notice this. We miss a lot, a whole lot. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that we, the gods that we are the power of healing. We're then met with the violet blue purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light we created to remind us all, the gods that we are within these bodies, of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We're then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are protected with a white fire armor. Nothing like the armor on this planet, way beyond that. It emanates from the gods that we are in these bodies, in pure, deep, eternal love, the highest of the highest high vibrational frequency. It can't be penetrated. Can't be dispelled. Can't be touched. No demon possession. No attachments. No lower dark matter, survival matter frequency. Ever, ever, ever. Because they know if they get close, when we're at that level of vibration, they vaporize. So they stay away, leave us alone. But only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, whether consciously or unconsciously, through hatred, anger, fear, greed, revenge, hurriedness, envy, jealousy, manipulation, dishonesty, you will create a breach in your white fire armor, enough so to allow all lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies come flooding in. Then the possibilities are there. demon possession, attachments, and other things. Now, if you do decide to do this, you're immediately met with a double column of light. The first part of this column of light is the purple transmuting flame. We created this to remind us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame, we can transmute all of these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are, no more. We're then met with the second part of this column of light, the violet ray. We created this part of the column of light to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame, cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony to the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, the purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is a column of light that we, the gods within these bodies, created to remind us all that we are the sun, the sunlight, the rain and the rainbow, sunsets and sunrises, skies and the clouds, oceans, rivers, lakes, streams, trees in the forest, the soils, the animals, the mountains, the trees, everything. We're everything and everything is us. So it's like you're looking at a tree, okay, out there. You say those trees are separate from you because it appears that way, right? Well, the tree is a physical form. And some of us gods enter trees to experience the physical form of the tree. Just like we do with these bodies. We power it up in certain ways so it can sustain us. The rest of the gods are inhabiting other physical vessels that also assist that tree. So we can sustain our experience within the tree of being the tree. There's no coincidence, right? So we use the tree as a really prime example. You breathe in oxygen. Trees breathe out oxygen. You breathe out carbon dioxide. Trees breathe in carbon dioxide. Oxygen flushes and cleans your body. Carbon dioxide flushes and cleans the tree's body. Can you see the closeness and the physicality of these bodies and the bodies of the trees? You could be anything you want. At least you can know what it's like to be whatever it is you're looking at. I wonder what it'd be like to be that horse. I wonder what it'd be like to be that bird I'm watching fly in the sky. So if you go into the now and you focus on the breath and you look at that, you will know briefly what it's like to be whatever that object is that you're curious of knowing what it's like to be. So the next time you see a sunset or a sunrise, and normally what would you say, right? Because you think you're separate. You'd say, isn't that beautiful? And it is beautiful because it's the God within you, within that body. So you say through the heart mind, that's the God that I am. That ocean front, that's the God that I am. The mountain, that's the God that I am. That sunset, that's the God that I am. The sunrise is God that I am. The rainbow, that's the God that I am. Always through the heart mind, not the ego mind. We continue to ascend above the planet. Some of us that are carrying physical form step outside the physical form, hover effortlessly above it. And the reason we do this is because, number one, it's really fun, and number two, we can. We come into full contact with this massive crystalline light tower. We created this tower. It's larger than the solar system and beyond. In the center of the column, we discover this massive oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere, we discover this golden white bowl of light. In turn, it is surrounded by numerous multicolored rings of light that seem to go to infinity and beyond. They create this massive, almost a crystal, shimmering white, super bright white cloud, flashing, reflecting, glittering, and it's absorbed within our heart minds, right through our hearts. And it's like a warm embrace that never ends. Now we discover that the golden white bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Then comes well-being, gratitude, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness. Bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, massive prosperity, and massive abundance. And then we discover that all of this is a reflection of the gods that we are within these bodies. Now, at the top of this tower, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees like it is right now. Infinity and beyond. Saturating, permeating, flooding everything on this planet, all life, the highest supreme value in the universe. And what is the golden ocean? It's pure, deep, eternal love. And we are drops of this golden ocean, and we hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden oceans are drops, drops of the golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere at set center circle. We created this sphere over 4 years ago. It holds nearly 1,900 of our meditations in perpetual motion. These meditations continue to intensify, grow, and expand. Hundreds of millions of us focus on the liberation, complete liberation of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now. Consciously aware. That's massive. Humongously impactful. Now you can see and watch through your heart, mind's motion pictures. You can watch as the goop, the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, it looks like it's the blackest of the blackest black. There's nothing that you can compare to it on this planet. It's so black. It's goopy. And it has a shine to it. And you're watching, as you're hovering above the planet, and you're seeing all this, right? And you're seeing this dark matter evaporate from every surface and every place on the planet, along with the AI, the rogue AI, that runs when you try to get it, that hides itself, that houses itself in looks like little rock containers, and you break those rocks open, and all that's in there is black goo. All of this is being eliminated from the planet. You can watch it anytime. You see the field. You see a shimmering field coming down all over the planet, right? And you see the dark matter, the goop, literally leaving the planet. And then you see this kind of, it looks like it's a sky, right? But it's not blue. It is a brilliant white tinged with pink and gold. It's shimmering. And you watch as this goop passes through all of this cascading gold and white light, and then it actually goes into the gold and white pink light, and it's disintegrated. It vanishes. And you're seeing this 24/7. There's no escape for the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. There's only oblivion, which is total disintegration. And what are we doing this with? Love. It's love. That's what we're doing it with. Pure, deep, eternal love. What we're all made of. All the gods that we are. There's no other way to eliminate it. can always choose to be at peace with what is. At any moment of your life, you can decide to accept life circumstances instead of resist or judge it. The result is total fulfillment and joy on every level of your being. It is your choice, each moment, where you choose to focus your attention on what you want or what you don't want. So for today, is to only focus on what you want and be at peace with what you don't want. Entertain the feelings of being at peace, no matter what occurs in your outer world. Now join in the meditation and return to close us out. Take an easy breath in, slowly, easily through the nose, and slowly, easily out the mouth. This moment, this very now, is the only thing that is real for any of us. Everything happening between our ears is a grand delusion created by our minds. This moment contains the only true existence. It is the only place you can find the divine. The past and the future are amazing, yet are delusions that take us away from the divine and are not actually real. They are continuously being fabricated and replicated by your mind. So, for several times randomly today, stop the mind by surrendering to the present moment. An amazing spiritual experience will begin to unfold within you. The longer you can remain completely present to the now. Don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself and see for yourself. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and following morning. We will return here Friday, April 29th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health